Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles at the Churchill Boxing Club, being joined by Mr. Regis Prograis, champion at 140 pounds. We're going to talk about your fight coming up, but welcome to California. You're a California native now. You moved out here a few months ago.
I'm loving it, man. Really, definitely loving it over here. Just everything is like it's like living on vacation. It make me wanna. Sorry, I'm shivering right now. I just got the ice and stuff like that. But everything is like wonderful here. It make me want to train all the time, and at the same time, everything is here for me. So I moved here for a reason. That was the reason for boxing, and now I'm here, loving it.
You got a nice little welcome gift when you moved over here. I tweeted at you that we had an earthquake a few weeks after you moved here?
I felt 2 earthquakes, yeah. I felt 2 earthquakes since I've been here. So I've been through 2 hurricanes already, one in, Katrina, then Harvey in Houston, then now I've been through earthquakes. So it's like wherever I move at, the natural disaster happens, basically.
How was your first earthquake like compared to the hurricanes?
It felt like I was sleeping, really. I was laying in my bed, and it just felt like somebody like really big was running up my stairs. I thought like the kids was like running up my stairs, so that's kind of what it was. And then my wife, she told me like, yeah, like you felt that, she can't run in the room. So like, you felt that? It was like, it's an earthquake. And I was like, all right, it was cool, I guess, or whatever, but nothing happened.
It's a small one. You don't want to feel the big ones.
I don't want to feel the big ones. I definitely don't want to be involved in no big earthquakes or nothing like that. Nah, I don't want to.
Yeah, we had a big old earthquake back in like 92, 93, like Northridge. It was not as big as the one that happened, but it was big because it was closer to LA, and that was super scary. Like you'd feel like the whole, I felt like my house was going to like collapse on me. Like the windows were shaking, like about to break, like the ground was like waving like this. It's not a pretty feeling.
I don't want to experience that at all. Nah, I don't want to. Nah, not at all.
So you said you moved over here to improve on your boxing. What weren't you getting over here that you are getting over here now? I mean, what weren't you getting back in New Orleans and Houston that you weren't getting here in California?
The whole thing is like we call this like camp uphill. This camp and just like running the mountains. You run in the mountains. We got the hills, we got the mountains, we got the oceans. I don't swim in the ocean, nothing like that. Well, not for training, but you got the beaches and all that stuff, the stairs, all that. So it's just it's just real good training. Of course, the competition here is just high, very, very high competition. And same thing in Houston, we got a lot of high competition. And I'm at the stage of my career right now where, of course, I fly in sparring partners anyway, but still, this gym is, it's full of like a lot of real good fighters, and that's kind of, that's what I want to be around. You always get better. They say iron sharpen iron because you always get better just because of, like the competition you're around. And so that was my whole thing. I never want to be considered, the best person in the gym. I always want to, like, even if I'm the best, like, because I am like the best at 140 right now, but we got bigger people in the gym, and they always give me real good work and stuff like that. So that's kind of and that was the reason I moved here, just to be around real high competition, and to get me better basically.
Do you miss back home though, living in New Orleans?
Well, I haven't lived in New Orleans since before Hurricane Katrina. Yeah. But I moved here from Houston, and of course I definitely I do miss Houston, but it feel like this is not home. It's just somewhere I live. Houston felt like home for me, because my family, most of my family is in New Orleans. My mama, my daddy they in Louisiana. My grandma, they in New Orleans. But my sister is in Houston. My wife's sister and her aunt is in Houston. But eventually I want to move them all here. I'm trying to convince them right now, like, y'all come over here. They're just like, we don't have your budget. We can't afford the thing. We can't live where you live at and stuff like that. But hopefully everything works out, and then I can bring them all here. But yeah, I definitely I miss Houston. That's why I do my camp in LA and in Houston.
Yeah, we living here, it's expensive, but because of that too, we have like a huge homeless problem over here also as well.
Yeah, I saw that. And sometimes the crazy thing about the homeless people here, a lot of them don't ask for nothing. Some of them, like, of course not all of them, but like I run across some of them, like they don't ask for nothing. Like, I don't know, it's
Are the homeless people back over there in Houston or in New Orleans?
Yeah, they gonna come up to you, they gonna bug you, and they really gonna ask for all kinds of stuff. They gonna bug the hell out you, and sometimes you might give them something, and they be like, give me some more, or something like, bro, come on, bro. But you know, there's some of them, and then like they said they got like different type of homeless people here. Like some of them just like crazy. Some people just walk around and just saying stuff and yelling on the street. Of course, we got that in Houston, New Orleans, but I think it might be a little more out here in LA.
Definitely a little bit more here in LA. That's like the homeless in Hollywood. They kind of get like that. I see that a lot over there.
They just kind of all over the place and just talking to themselves, and yeah, like they're like it's weird. Yeah.
How's the food in Houston compared to the food over here?
It's a lot of good. It's comparable. I mean, I think it's comparable. It's like it's kind of what and what to me. Now
I'm leading into Whataburger versus In-N-Out because I know Whataburger's a big thing in Texas and In-N-Out's a big thing over here.
I go with Whataburger.
Nah. Interview's over. Nah.
I gotta go with Whataburger. Yeah,
Whataburger's good, man, but In-N-Out just the meat's like better to me.
Not to me.
Nah.
I'm Whataburger, and Whataburger offer more stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's just like
they do. They got a bigger selection of food.
Yeah, they got a bunch of stuff. So I'm Whataburger. I'm Team Whataburger. Yeah. If it goes to that, I'm Team Whataburger.
You have had In-N-Out though, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
I like In-N-Out. Yeah. It's not like I don't like In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out. Matter of fact, I love it. But I like Whataburger more, basically. Yeah.
So I went to New Orleans a few months back. Mm-hmm. Where do you get your beignets from?
Cafe, of course, Cafe Du Monde, but that's like cliche. A lot of people get it from Cafe Du Monde, but I got a partner that makes them, dude named Donnie, and like I never tasted a beignet that tastes so good. Like homemade, he made it, and bro, he made it was so good. It was a beignet, but it tasted like something else. Like it was so good. Like so. I'ma just get him to just, you know, he out here too, so I'ma just get him to just.
Please give me his number, because I went to Du Monde, but I also went to Cafe Beignet, and I thought the ones at Cafe Beignet were a little bit better, like a little bit fluffier. And to me, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this dude, I don't know what he put in it, but it was way better than like any beignet I ever tasted. Yeah. And he made it homemade. He just gave it to me in a bag, and it was like real good.
He's putting something a little bit extra in there, that's for sure.
It was off the chain, for sure.
I know we kind of went off on a tangent. You got this fight coming up with Josh Taylor, the 26th. It's a big fight, man. It's a big fight, O2 Arena. How hard is this fight, do you feel?
To be honest, I think I'm gonna stop him.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, I know it's number 1 versus number 2 in the world, but I cannot see how he can beat me. You know, I know people say it's a 50-50 fight. To be honest, they've been saying that about a lot of opponents. A lot of my opponents, and I've been just blowing everybody out, you know. So it's not like, you know, I go in and I think that I'm just gonna run through them and not like and take them lightly, because that's definitely not the case. As you can see, I'm still shivering from ice, and I've been training my ass off every single day. But I just can't see how he can possibly beat me. I just can't see it, you know, because I got so many tools and I can do so many things in the ring. And I have 24 fights, and all my fights look different. You know, I can do so because I can do so many things in the ring. I have so many tools in the box or whatever. And he has 15 fights, and all of his 15 fights look the same. So I just feel like I'm way more versatile. And on top of that, I just feel like he gets hit. He gets hit with some flush punches, and he cannot take those punches from me. And he got hit. I was at his last fight with Barancek, and you know Barancek is, you know, he's a good fighter, but he's not a boxer. He's just wild. He's a hard puncher, but he has no finesse like I do. And I'm sharper. I'm a sharper puncher, and I feel I do hit harder, and I'm more accurate. So if he takes those same punches from me like he took from Barancek, I really think I could stop him.
I always wondered this about you, because you're not like a huge guy, but you have huge power, and I'm like, where does this dude get this power from?
Legs. All come from the legs. It's genetics. I think it is genetics too, you know, because that's something. It's something you're born with, you know, but it's something you can work on at the same time, you know, because yeah, it's just, for me, it's just in that I was just born strong, you know. Ever since I was young, I was just stronger than everybody else. Like That's just, even like in football and stuff, I was just stronger than everybody else, my size. And then it kind of carried over into boxing.
Did you do like a lot of work outside? I know some people like, they get their strength like in wrestling. A lot of the guys that are strong naturally is because they work out in the farms and they get like that farmer strength and it's from that diet. Did you do anything like that? Like where?
I just felt like ever since I was young, I was naturally strong, and then I kind of started working on it. Like when I was real young, I started like lifting weights, like bench pressing and curls and all that type of stuff, lifting weights, doing pull-ups and push-ups and stuff. So when I felt, I probably like 9 or 10 or something like that. Not the weights, but like the pull-ups and push-ups. But it was just something that, I felt like I could work on it and keep getting better and better and better. So, of course, in boxing, it kind of carried over. My strength kind of carried over in boxing. And, it's just something that I'm born with. And now I just keep working on it, of course. Now I know more techniques and I know where the strength comes from. And then, that's kind of, I still work on that.
In doing research for this fight, I stumbled upon the press conference for your fight with Chisora, and wow, that was kind of like random, but like I know the people that come from the area that you've come from, and I know how you guys are, and I was surprised you didn't pop off on him. I was extremely surprised because like knowing like that situation, I would have thought you would have like straight out just popped off on him and be like, dude, like disrespectful, and just gone off on him. But you kept your cool.
First off, I felt like I was the only one to respond to actually said something. Going into that, I didn't know nothing about Chisora. Now, if I would have known something like me, I'm not the type of person that like puts my foot in my mouth to where I'm not gonna say nothing like ignorant. And basically when I mean ignorant is saying that something that you don't know about. So the only thing that I knew he wasn't is he's not number one. That's why I said, he said, well, I'm not the main event. I said, we're number one and number two in the world champions. Now, I knew he's not a world champion right now, but I never knew that he never won a belt before. He never been a world champion, and he lost like 9 times. If I would have known that at the conference, then I would have said that. I definitely would have said that, but I didn't bring that up because I didn't know about it, and I'm not gonna say nothing ignorant. I couldn't say nothing like, "Oh, you not a world champion," or "You never was a world champion," because I didn't know if he was a world champion before or not. So I couldn't say that. But like I said, the only thing I did say was like, "Yeah, look, we number one and number two in the world," and that was it. But I wish I would have known all that stuff. But now I saw other things like he throws tables and all kinds of stuff. So maybe it's luckily I didn't know about that, because we would have been in there like throwing chairs and tables at each other.
Because like I mentioned, like I was just surprised. I'm like, man, he must really be just like holding his tongue, like trying to be like cool and stuff like that.
I was definitely kind of pissed off. Like even when he said that, I was just thinking like, why nobody saying nothing? And then going back to like, they was like, I guess everybody knew how he was, and then he throw tables and he goes crazy at press conferences and all that type of stuff. But whatever. That's just it. I respect him for standing up to the promoter and wanting more money, demanding more money. Of course, you're supposed to do that. You're a prize fighter. You fighting for a prize. Get your money. Get all your money you can. But
yeah, he put them on blast,
he put them on blast for sure.
Big time.
But don't disrespect us. We a fighter just like you are. We're world champions. You never was a world champion. We undefeated world champions in our prime, fighting, for all these things. You don't have to disrespect us. We come from the same place you come from. We're fighters. Now, if you want to go to promoters and say that, you could have said all that same stuff, except about us, about me and Josh Taylor. So it was kind of disrespectful, but it is what it is. Whatever.
It's not gonna be awkward, huh? Fight week, right?
Nah,
if he shows up.
I don't think so.
It's kind of an awkward situation though. Like, oh, okay, like we're back here again. Like,
yeah. I mean, if he go off, then whatever. I mean, maybe I'll say something, maybe I won't, but whatever. We'll see when it happens.
Josh Taylor, height and reach. A lot's been said about that. Mm-hmm. What do you make of the size of him and the reach?
Undago is the same thing.
Yeah.
Undago is taller, longer reach. Got him out of there in 2 rounds. Yeah. Every fighter I fought has been taller than me, has had longer reach than me. So that doesn't, for me, it never mattered. The Taylor tape never mattered in the fight. So I don't worry about how tall nobody is, how long their reach is, and stuff like that. That's just something that I just don't worry about. I don't care about it. you can't. The Taylor tape doesn't measure my ring IQ, and it doesn't measure my heart. So I don't worry about that.
I know any fighter in any division is always looking for like that big, huge fight, that marquee fight. You know, looking at the landscape at 140, it's you, and if you get past Taylor, that makes you and Ramirez the fight for undisputed. But you got to be thinking, you know, that the guys at 47 is where all the action's at. That's where all the money's at, right?
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll go up to 147, and you know, after this, my whole thing is I kind of don't even want to think about that right now because I just want to focus only on Josh Taylor. That's my only focus been on Josh Taylor because I know after this, it's gonna be offers everywhere. It's gonna be maybe fight Ramirez, maybe go up to 147 fight. It's gonna be offers from, you know, all these networks offering me money and stuff. So right now, Josh Taylor. That's it for me right now, Josh Taylor. And then I know, like I said, after this, then it'll be crazy offers from everywhere. You know, it'll be probably wild, like my wildest dreams type of offers will be on the table. So right now, I just want to focus on, you know, Josh Taylor, and that's kind of it.
What'd you make of Broner getting on his Instagram live and calling you out and Ramirez out? That kind of caught me off guard, but when I started thinking about it, I was like, man, that's actually a really good fight. I'd really like to see that, and that's a big name too.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've been calling out Broner for like 4 years. You know, of course, I wasn't, you know, even when I first started calling him out, I was like 15-0 or something like that. And, you know, I wasn't up there yet. And I'm a world champion. And now he's calling my name out. So, of course, if they present that fight to me one day, that'll be a fight that I'd love to take. You know, especially, of course, for the right money and stuff like that. If he says he wants to come take over 140, I can't see him beating no champion right now at 140. Between me, Josh Taylor, and Ramirez, I don't think Broner will be either one of us at 140. So if, you know, after everything is said and done with me and Taylor or Ramirez, then, you know, if that fight is on the table, then, you know, there'll be a fight I'll love to take.
That Ramirez fight is another fight that I would love to see because of his style. He comes forward. He's an all-action guy. How do you gauge him compared to the skills that you have?
I think my skills are more superior than everybody at 140 right now because I can do so many different things. You know, I think Ramirez is, he's a good fighter, but he showed me the same thing. He showed me the same thing. Basically my opinion never changed about him. You know, from when I first saw him fight Amir Mine, when he first won the title from Amir Mine, my opinion never changed about him. You know, he's tough. He can definitely take a punch. He's gonna fight the whole 12 rounds. And he's a real good body puncher, but he can definitely be outboxed. You know, he gets hit a lot, and he can definitely, as we saw with Zepeda, he can really be outboxed by a southpaw. And then I feel like somebody like, you know, Zepeda was hitting him a lot. So somebody like me as a southpaw, if I do the same thing Zepeda did, but with my power, it might be an early night.
How much time did you spend growing up in New Orleans, Louisiana?
Storm here when I was 16.
16?
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
So there's like this not misnomer, but like, I don't. Whenever I think about like Louisiana, New Orleans, I always think about like crocodiles for some strange reason. Like they're just roaming around everywhere. Like, did you ever? They actually are?
Yeah, for real.
Did you ever encounter like a lot of them growing up?
Yeah, they in our parks and stuff. Like in our parks and all that, like we'll see them. Like when we was kids and stuff, you'll see like little alligators or even big alligators, like just at the park, at the water and stuff.
Fuck that! I would never go to the park. That is a terrifying thing.
We try to catch them and stuff.
You personally try to catch one?
Yeah, I don't know if you look at my Instagram or not, but yeah, like I was in New Orleans. What that was like 4 or 5 months ago, and they had one on the side of the road, and I tried to catch him. It was
just pulled up and just grabbed it by its tail.
Tried. He ran away.
You're crazy, dude.
I tried to get him, but like out there, like so they like on the road. Like, so you driving on the highway, and they like on the road and stuff like that. They try to cross.
Just go out and just move them out of the road.
Nah, well, some people hit them. Some people hit them with their cars and stuff. They trying to cross the road and stuff. Just like out here is like deers and stuff, and like mountain lions and stuff. Like we got alligators. Yeah. They just out there.
Mountain lion fuck you up. Mountain lions, no joke out here.
I never seen one yet. I'm glad I didn't, because I probably try to catch one.
No, those things they'll mess you up. And they come out of nowhere too. Like there's people that the mountain lions out here. No, there's not a lot. When you start going up to like Santa Monica, the mountains over there, they creep up on you, and they're not little cats. Like they're solid. Like they're big, and they just sneak up from behind you, grab you by the neck, and it's game over. It's a good way to go because you don't really feel it, but I can imagine like an alligator or a crocodile, you know what's happening to you. He's grabbing onto you, he's rolling around, and you're getting eaten while you're still alive. At least this thing snuffs you out real quick, you know?
I don't want to get eaten by either one of them. I don't want to think about getting ate by either one of those things.
Oh, you're running around with crocodiles over there, man. Shoot.
Now I'm out here, I'm fucking playing with sharks and shit too now. I went dive down and I saw like a little shark and shit went down by him and stuff like that. So play with all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you were telling us off camera that you enjoy going spearfishing. That's a thing that a lot of fans would know about you. When did this all start?
Shit, really, I've been wanting to do it. I don't even know how. I started like you be on YouTube and just looking at all kinds of shit. Stuff start popping up, and then I just saw, and I've been wanting to do it. Then I moved to LA, and I was like, shit, this is the perfect place to do it. Then I met people that started doing it, that actually do it. And they showed me like all the stuff they get, all the equipment, all the gear and all that. And then I got all my own stuff, and I actually started doing it. I caught a couple of fish, and now I went down. I go in Malibu, and you go down, you see all kinds of shit. Saw some stingrays and the little sharks, of course a lot of fish and lobsters and all that type of shit. So yeah, I just started doing that.
One thing that you informed me that I didn't know about is when you do all this, you have to hold your breath.
Yeah.
For a long time. You told me you could do it for like minutes at a time. And I was just thinking right now, does that help out with boxing at all?
It might. I think it might. It probably might. I mean, it should. I heard, because I actually posted, like, I held my breath for 3 minutes and 52 seconds. I posted on, like, Twitter when I did it. And then somebody wrote me, they responded to what they said, Ken Buchanan, he would swim like 100 meters without like breathing, with holding his breath and stuff like that. A Scotsman or whatever, but so maybe it do. Maybe holding your breath is it could help in boxing. Maybe so.
You're a no nonsense guy, right? The training that you do is all old school, right?
Most of the time, yeah. Most stuff like I run in boots. I train with the little bag gloves on. Yeah, I just like.
Yeah, I remember seeing you hitting the bag, and you did have the little bag gloves. Why? Yeah. Like, doesn't that like injure your hands, or you can't get prone?
I mean, all the old school fighters did it. Why not? So they ran in boots. They hit the bag with the little bitty gloves on, little bag gloves on. I feel like it makes you punch harder. And if it not necessarily work on your power, but it makes you punch not harder, but right. It makes you punch right. It makes you punch the right way. When you have bigger gloves on, you can punch and you can kind of keep your hand open. With those gloves, you have to make a real fist and you have to hit. And if not, you'll break your hand. So that's kind of why I use them. It was like basically correct punching.
It's kind of like the old type fighters where it was more like, I remember I saw a video of Costa Tszyu, like he would hit it differently, and it'd be like an Eastern technique where they'd hit with like the top knuckle and kind of do like a little turn. Yeah.
Because I know about Costa Tszyu too, how he punches stuff.
He had a different way of punching.
That's why it worked.
Yeah,
shit, motherfucker hit hard as shit.
He was a murderous puncher too. Yeah. And he was at 140. Imagine that, you and him back in the day.
Exactly. That'll be a hell of a fight, right? Shit, Zab could have got him, but
he could have. But the thing with Zab was here. He was never. If he would have had his mental game right, Zab would have been like one of the all-time greats because he had literally everything. Everything.
Southpaw ever.
Yeah.
Zab could have definitely, like, with his skills and his explosiveness and how good he was. Like, I watched all of Zab's fights, and Zab was so fucking good. Zab could have been like the best southpaw ever. But
even like in the Mayweather fight, he's done the best I've ever seen anybody do against Mayweather those first 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Because that when he hit him with that hook, that should have been ruled a knockdown because his glove hit the floor. His speed was on point. It's just the thing with Zab, after those 4 rounds, he'd just go down.
He just, mental capacity, he just started losing or whatever. I don't know what it was for him. They call him a front runner. That's what even Floyd knew, that he was a front runner. But man, if he could have stayed like focused the whole fight. It's all about focus. That's the main thing. It's all about, in a ring you have to be focused. And it just looked like he just always would just lose that focus. He came up under Purnell, and if he could have just, because he was way more explosive than Purnell, but if he could just like have that focus like Purnell had, oh man, Jab could have been the best southpaw ever.
Yeah, I always see it like that as a case in which it's like all this potential, and he just couldn't get out because of the most important component in the fight game is here.
You got to be focused the whole time. He did what? He wasn't undisputed.
He was undisputed. He why is it? I'm drawing a blank here. He went to he won it outside of man, it's not coming to my.
Because I know they fought.
Why is Brunridge coming up? It wasn't against.
No, I know they fought for all 4 belts.
Yeah.
With him and Kasazu.
Yeah,
Kasazu got him. He lost that.
Yeah, but then he won again. It's not coming to me, man. Watch. We're gonna finish this interview and I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah. But man, Zab was a fucking. That was a beast. That was a beast for sure. Yeah.
Hey, man, Regis. It's great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Nah, it's all good. I know how it is, man. I know how those ice baths are. Regis Prograis right here, looking to beat Josh Taylor, coming up at the O2 Arena, October 26th in the final of the World Boxing Super Series.